Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well and welcome to your second semester. And we have successfully completed our first semester. So again, I welcome you all, and also that do not forget whatever we have learned in Sem 1. All right, and based on that information and also your previous standard, will be going through ahead. And this is our 10th chapter right now, which is cell and cell organelles. So I hope you all are doing well, and I know you all are missing school, and we are also missing you all. All right, so hopefully, we will see whatever, wherever the situation will be. All right, so let's start our this chapter, which is cell and cell organelles. So, when we talk about cell, first of all, have you have any idea what is cell and what are cell organelles? Maybe you must have learned in the earlier standard, because we know that there were some lessons which is based on that. So basically, when you see, there was we always say that the basic, there is everything that is matter is made up of something, isn't it? And that something could be the tiniest particle which we cannot further cut, right, or divide, right? So even the cell is what we call as the fundamental and structural unit, or you can also say the building block. All right, so for example, when we talk about structure of the cell, then over here we have a plant cell and animal cell. All right, we have earlier in the previous standard we have learned that, for example, a single brick is the unit. Okay, and by clubbing all the bricks together will make a tissue, and whole tissue stuff together will make a wall, and that particular wall is going to make a construct a house, right? And we also know that the fundamental and structural basic unit is called as cell, right? So in 7th standard we have already completed that. So, and if you have not, then my video is there, okay, on YouTube. You can go through it, what is cell. Okay, then now over here we have plant cell and animal cell. So you should know till now that what are the basic or cell organelles over here, and what are the present and absent. See this chart also, you have to, this particular table also you have to complete. So this is going to be your homework number 1 for this lesson, that you have to complete the labeling of these plant cell and animal cell, and also this table. And if you make any mistakes, I am there for your help. So this homework number is 1, so please write it down, and also I'm going to send you the answers tomorrow. Till then, please think and try to do it yourself. All right, now let's start with the component of a cell. All right, so when we talk about components of the cell, that means that a cell is having something inside it, or a part of it. So number 1 is cell wall. Now when we talk about cell wall, so it is found around cell of algae, fungi and plants, and animal cells lack cell wall. So basically cell wall is present in plants only. All right, and this cell wall is protecting the cell, because plant cannot run, right, in danger, but we can. So cell wall is only present in the plant, and it protects the cell. That's why plants are quite hard. It is because of the cell wall present around the cell. And also there are a lot many things, let's do not go that deep, but yes, this is one particular function. And the cell wall is an elastic and strong coat around cell membrane. All right, so that elastic and strong coat is needed so that the plant can even bend but cannot break. All right, for example, our bone cannot bend. It is so strong that it is going to break. It cannot bend as such, right? But you can see the plant are flexible, they can bend to a certain limit. After that particular limit, they're going to break off, obviously. So this is going to provide elastic and strong coat, and it is mainly composed of carbohydrates like cellulose and pectin, and afterwards polymers like lignin, stibrin, cutin are added in cell wall as per need. So basically, see, if you need the cell wall, see cell wall is basically like of cement, where you're going to attach all the cells all together. So how hard you want So it is based on the cement how you're preparing. If you really want it quite tough, then there are a different concentration of things which is needed to make that particular thing hard. All right. Similarly, the cell wall also has these cellulose and the polymers like lignin, seborrheic, cutin, which is going to be added in the cell wall as per the need of the plant. Now, function of the cell wall are to support and to protect the cell by preventing entry of excess water in the cell. For example, if we talk about balloon, okay, then balloon, if you're going to fill air more than the volume which it can occupy, so it is going to burst any which way, right? अगर आपने एक बलून के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा हवा भर दी तो बलून फट जाएगा, राइट? बट अगर यही चीज़ एनिमल प्लांट में होने लगी, सॉरी, तो क्या होगा? तो सारे के सारे प्लांट तो अपने आप मरने लगेंगे ना, बिकॉज अपने हद से ज़्यादा पानी अगर प्लांट को दे दिया तो प्लांट मर भी जाता है. बट दैट इज़ नॉट बिकॉज द सेल इज़ बर्स्टिंग आउट. इट्स नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑक्सीजन एक्यूमुलेशन, दी ऑक्सीजन की कमी हो जाती है, वो डिफरेंट थिंग है. बट ऐसा अगर होने लगे प्लांट्स में तो वो बहुत मुश्किल है, राइट? तो ये जो सेल होता है, सेल मेम्ब्रेन, इट इज़ गोइंग टू प्रिवेंट दी एंट्री ऑफ एक्सेस वाटर. सो क्या होता है, सेल का जो अंदर का जो इन्वायरमेंट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा पानी अगर उसमें दे दिया जाए तो ऑब्वियसली वो सेल भी ब्लास्ट हो सकता है. पर ऐसा नहीं होता. कौन ऐसा होने नहीं देता? ये है सेल वॉल. सो नाउ let's talk about number 2. Number 1 was cell membrane. What was number 1? Number 1, again I should repeat, it is the component of cell, and number 1 was cell wall. What are the function of cell wall? We have just seen. Now we will see for the second part, which is plasma membrane, or you can also say cell membrane. So now over here, as you can see, the structure is given, structure of cell wall and structure of plasma membrane. So cell wall is basically like of bread, you have upper bread, you have down two breads, and in between you have fillings. That fillings can be made up of mushrooms or potatoes or mixed with onion or cucumber, anything, right? But then over here, these two breads are forming the two layers, and in between you have certain proteins like hemicellulose, pectin, cellulose microfibers, soluble protein. So all these proteins play their own function, which we are going to see in the further in the video. And over here we have 10.3, which is structure of plasma membrane. Again, cell wall and plasma membrane are different, okay? And plasma membrane is even more delicate and flexible, and there you can see that there are two layers. One is upper layer, then downward, okay, two layers, and you can see a structure called as carbohydrate chains and protein lipid layer. So this lipid layer is from both above and below, and in between you have these proteins, and these protein helps directly to either enter or to exit from the cell. For example, imagine a room, okay, a room which is having a door, and that door is actually having a function of either you open the door and you come inside, or you can just open the door and you can exit out. Okay, so but if door is locked, can you come in or go out from the room? Obviously no, right? So these proteins are also playing the same function. All right, so it is a thin, fragile and elastic covering that separates the cell component from outer environment. For example, if you want to keep your money safe, you keep it in locker, right? Similarly, the plasma membrane locks the money so that no one can touch it, right? Because you need to be quite safe. So even our body, if you talk about all the organelles which is present in our body, inside the body, it is not in directly contact with the environment. You can get infection or anything can be entered, right? Or any pathogen can enter and it will going to kill you. Pathogen means an external particular body. See, the pathogen means any external, microorganism which can harm or can create any infection or disease in you. So similarly, this plasma membrane or cell membrane helps in that thing. Also, structure of plasma membrane means what? It is protein molecules are embedded in two layers of phospholipids. So see, the plasma membrane structure is such that you have phospholipids, layers of phospholipids. So upper layer and second layer, which we were saying as bread, it is phospholipids, okay, and inside it is you have proteins which is embedded in it, okay. इमीडिएट यानी कि क्या, उसके जो ब्रेड के अंदर जैसे गड़े हुए होते हैं, अगर आप प्लम केक खाते हो या कोई भी फ्रूट केक खाते हो तो उसमें टूटी फ्रूटीज रहते हैं ना, वैसे ही ये प्रोटीन्स जो है वो इमीडिएट होते हैं. So plasma membrane is said to be a selectively permeable membrane as it allows some substances to enter the cell while prevents other substances. So not everything is allowed to come in. For example, if you do not allow everyone to come in your home, even if you don't know the person, we tell them to be outside until unless some elder is going to come or be at our place. We don't say to come in because obviously it is not safe, right? If you don't know anyone, it's better to ask the parent and then take that authority to tell them to come in or go or to wait, right? So this is what we call a selectively permeable membrane. Only few who are selected or which is needed can enter the cell. And who is telling the cell to, or who is guiding that? It is plasma membrane. So now due to this property, useful molecules of water, salt, and oxygen enter the cell, and CO2, that is carbon dioxide, exit the cell. Because see, carbon dioxide is not needed by the cell, so obviously it is going to go out from the cell. But while water, salt, and oxygen is required by the cell, so that is why it is going to get entered. Okay, and this is why it is called as selectively permeable, because only the things which are needed are entered, are allowed to enter. Not everything can come. So, if any changes occur outside the cell, the cellular environment does not change due to plasma membrane, and this condition is called as homeostasis. So, suppose outside there is raining, okay, but you are inside your room. Will you be get affected? No, right? You are not. So, बाहर कितने भी बारिश होने दो, कुछ भी साइक्लोन तूफान आने दो, you are going to be safe inside, right? So the out, who is protecting you, by the way? The out, this room, the wall of the room is protecting you. You are inside, right? So similarly, this wall is called as plasma membrane, or you can say cell membrane, and this cell membrane is protecting whatever is present inside the cell. All right. So the condition where the internal environment is not getting affected by the outer, or you can say outer environment, is called as homeostasis. Okay, even we resist any change in our body. हमारे body का temperature 37 degree Celsius रहता ही है, तो we maintain, right? This maintenance is called as homeostasis. Now, next is activities that consume cellular energy, and it is very important topic. Please pay attention over here. See, as we do all the activities, from where we are getting energy. For example, if there is any physical movement, obviously we are going to need some energy. So every cell in your body requires some energy. But why? Because some activity is going on. For every activity we need energy, isn't it? Or do you think there are certain processes where energy is not needed at all? So yeah, there are certain activities where energy is not needed as such, and there are certain activities which do need energy. All right, so let's talk about endocytosis and exocytosis. So endocytosis means what? So when you open the door, then only things can come inside. So when cell takes anything inside from the outer environment, it is endocytosis. See, inside the room, or you can say inside the cell, there is cytoplasm. What is there? Cytoplasm. Okay, and you're taking something inside, so you are taking endo in what? Cytoplasm. So endocytosis. Cis means the process. So endo means inside, cyto means the cytoplasm. So you are taking something inside the cytoplasm. So the process is called as endocytosis. And exit. From where? Cytoplasm. So exocytosis, the opposite one, right? So generally to excrete something, okay, that it is exocytosis. But when you need something which is required, so you are engulf, or you gulp something, आप फूल को चबा के गल्प करते हो, अंदर लेते हो अपने अंदर, right? That is engulf or gulp, isn't it? Now let's talk about process those does not consume cellular energy. So the one is diffusion and osmosis. Again, there is difference between diffusion and osmosis. The main difference is diffusion means we are talking about gases. But when we talk about osmosis, we talk about water. So movement of molecules of gases, example oxygen, that is O2, CO2, which is carbon dioxide, is called as diffusion. It is either entering or either it is exiting, right? But when you talk about osmosis, it is strictly the movement of water. Only water moves from your, a part where higher concentration of water to lower concentration of water through a selectively permeable membrane is called as osmosis. For example, sponge. Okay, if you take a sponge and you're going to keep it in a water, it is going to absorb amount of water in it because water was not there in the sponge, so it is going to take the water from outside. But a sponge which is already wet, if you're going to keep it inside the water, is it going to take even more water? Obviously no, right? So in this case, the movement of water from higher concentration to lower concentration is called as osmosis. But this happened through a selectively permeable membrane. So remember the door we are talking about. So when we open the door, then this door is going to help you to either exit or to make the entry inside the cell. So that is called as osmosis. Now there are three possibilities what are going to happen if water is either going to exit, either going to enter, or either is going to say be there only. Yeah, there are three conditions, right, if we talk about osmosis, right? So when water is going to leave the cell and this inside the environment of the cell becomes totally dry, or you can say the water is very less, right? So what happens is the cell cytoplasm shrinks, obviously, because there is no water. All right, and we all know that our body is made up of 70% of water. So all the cells have good amount of water in it. So if you're going to take out the water, obviously the cytoplasm is going to shrink. Okay, so now next is your water is going to be there as it is. Neither it is going to get entered, neither it is going to go out. Or you can say the amount of water which is leaving the cell, that amount of water is also coming in. So basically the proportion of water is going to be same. And the third condition is where the water is only coming in but it is not going out. तो क्या होगा? तो अब अगर साइटोप्लाज्म श्रिंक हुआ तो वो सेल श्रिंक हो जाएगा. अगर जितना पानी बाहर निकला है उतना ही पानी अंदर आ रहा है तो उसमें वो जो सेल है वो वैसा का वैसा ही रहेगा. लेकिन अगर सेल में आपने और पानी डाला तो वो सेल स्वेल हो जाएगा, राइट? तो ये एक्सपेरिमेंट हम कर सकते हैं थ्रू योर रेजिन्स, यानी कि मुनक्के, राइट, जिसे हम किशमिश भी कहते हैं. सो इसमें क्या करना है आपको? यू हैव एन एक्टिविटी, राइट? सो ओवर हियर वी हैव दिस एक्टिविटी, डू इट योर सेल्फ. दिस इज़ गोइंग टू बी योर एक्टिविटी. तो आपको ये एक्टिविटी करनी है जैसे हमने फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में रिकॉर्ड की थी, याद है आपको? और आज बहुत सारे बच्चों ने पार्टिसिपेट भी किया था और हमारे सारे बच्चों को अप्रिशिएशन का सर्टिफिकेट भी मिला था. तो सेम थिंग वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट. ओके, सो हम क्या कर रहे हैं? हम 4 से 5 रेजिन ले रहे हैं, मुनक्के ले रहे हैं, उसे हम पानी में डालेंगे. तो आप क्या करोगे? एक ग्लास लोगे, उसमें एक नॉर्मल पानी लोगे, जो भी आपका टैप वाटर आता है वो, उसमें 2-3 किशमिश रख लो, ठीक है? फिर आप एक पानी लोगे, पानी में थोड़ा सा सॉल्ट मिलाओगे, ज़्यादा थोड़ा सा सॉल्ट मिलाओगे, 1 चम्मच सॉल्ट मिला लेना और उसमें आप किशमिश रख दोगे, उसे भी आप रख लेना. और तीसरे पानी में क्या करना है? आपको खूब सारी शक्कर मिलानी है. ओके, साखर जिसे हम कहते हैं, उसको मिला के रखना है और उसमें भी किशमिश 2-3 डालनी है. फिर आपको उसे 1 घंटे के बाद अपना रिज़ल्ट देखना है और मुझे बताना है. आप उस वीडियो के थ्रू भी मुझे अपना रिज़ल्ट बता सकते हो, ठीक है? जिसका वीडियो सही होगा, जिसका कंडीशन सही होंगे या रिज़ल्ट सही आएगा, दैट स्टूडेंट इज़ गोइंग टू आई एम गोइंग टू पोस्ट दैट वीडियो इन द ग्रुप. ऑल राइट, एंड वी ऑल नो दैट, ठीक है? सो दिस इज़ फॉर द डे. Do this activity and again revise, and I'm there for any doubts. Take care. And I want everyone to participate. Obviously you are at home, आपके पास टाइम है इतना कि आप एक्सपेरिमेंट कर सकते हो. For any help, I'm there. Take care.